Welcome to the highlight show for week 23 of Ultimate Pool The Masters. The Pro Cup champion Jordan Shepherd is the top seed in this group, but Liam Dunster, the two-times world champion, is making his hotly anticipated debut. Luke Sangees is also making his Ultimate Pool debut in this group as well, and Jamie Moray rounds out the group. Luke Sangees and Liam Dunster will do battle in our second match of the night, but it will be Jordan Shepherd taking on Jamie Moray in our first match, which is where we go now. The opening two frames were won by Jordan Shepherd before Jamie managed to get on the board. Jamie now has the break, 2-1 behind.
Now, we both know that Jordan's been playing a little bit of snooker on the Challenger Series and that kind of thing as well. So
more than a little bit.
Yeah,
Jordan is fully going for it on the snooker world. And
give them a clout. I mean, he wasn't great with the cue ball, but they have really opened up. I think he's been a little bit unfortunate. The cue ball's come all the way around the table. It's about every cushion going. And left him a horrible first shot.
Wouldn't mind playing with his break for a tournament or two, mind. They're exploding on him.
I'd take my girlfriend's break at the minute. I've invested in a break cue, and it's coming. You know, when you feel something happening, it's coming. It's getting there. So let's see how I get on in the new season with it. But
that's how I felt just before I retired, mate.
Well, he's taking a right shot up the rail here. Yeah, it was tough. It was very, very tough. A little bit unfortunate, really, because he did give him a bit of a clout. So he's currently ranked 216 on the Challenger. So not having probably the best of times on there, as tough as it is. I mean, again, you can be forgiven there for thinking, oh, he's having an awful season, but we know how good the standard is on that Challenger Series, and there's a lot of players, a lot of matches to win. It's a tough school, a very tough school. And, you know...
It's also... I had a very brief chat with him before we came out to go live, and he was just saying that was almost his year back. You know, he's coming back into the sport. He's been away for a little while, so it's going to take time. He's really up for next year already.
Yeah, I think so. You know, more so than ever now with these new rules and different things as well. The game is more so about millimetres than it's ever been, in my opinion. So, you know, them sort of one mistake or two mistakes can be the difference between, you know, your match. Whereas before, you know, you'd make, you know, several. Whereas now you can literally make one and sit in your chair for the rest of the match. You just got to float this in and just glance the 8 ball out of the way. That's a nice shot.
Yeah, very, very good. Surely not. He comes around to check the 8 ball goes. That must go.
I think it goes. Seems switched on tonight, does Jordan?
Yeah, his season sort of dipped away a little bit towards the back end of the year, so he could do with a positive match here and get himself ready for his title defence next week of the Pro Cup.
Yeah, I'm a big believer in...
8 ball, and it goes. Just like that, it's 4-1. Jordan Shepherd with a golden break. And I mean, that's as good as you can hit the break. He absolutely flushed them, parks the cue ball right up the middle of the table, and the 8 ball just tracked.
What a break that is. I mean, even if the 8 ball doesn't go in, look at where the balls went.
I mean, that's some break, isn't it?
The next two frames were shared, making it 5-2. We now join Jamie Moray with the break. Plenty of work still to do.
8 ball, no.
He's come close a few times. What a break he's got, though.
Yeah. Yeah, the cue ball's doing some funny things. He's getting huge amounts of spin on it, but he's flushing the front ball every time.
And these are not a bad layout, these. Well, didn't need to do that, though.
Don't cover the pocket as well.
Yeah, it's a poor shot, really. I think he'd He deserves to cover the pocket because he didn't really need to play the shot that he did. Everything went. Everything had a pocket. Need to put himself under unnecessary pressure here, I think.
Yeah, problem ball then. Was he looking at double? If you were to get behind it, it wouldn't be too bad top right, but you don't have anything to get behind it, so you'd expect it to be a double.
It's not where he wanted it. Although he does now have the option of chopping this up the rail, coming back across the table and leaving himself a little bit of an angle, so it might not be as bad as... No, he's played it poorly though.
I actually think it was always going to be tricky to get on the red on the right hand side as a double from the one over the middle, because the yellow plays quite big.
Yeah.
Oh, he hasn't left it wide open here for Jordan. Asked for the cue ball to be cleaned because he got a kick. This will be on his time as well, but 30 seconds a shot at the moment, no real problems. And Scott Price gets in and out the way nice and quickly.
Perfect. Great
Beautiful shot.
When he's on the ball, Simon is not many better.
He's fantastic to watch when he is flying. When he won all those shootouts, some of the moments in and around them, fantastic.
Bouncer side fits cleared up with them. You were commentating.
I was, yeah, up in Aberdeen. That was against Jordan. 2.5 minutes left on the clock. And he was 4-3 down in a race to 5.
Oh.
8 ball again. And he came up with back-to-back clearances off the break, and the clock didn't stop when the referee was racking the balls. It was an unbelievable moment from Simon. But
well, this is unreal. 8 ball nearly goes in. They split like that and nothing drops. And that's where the game punishes you sometimes. It's not really justified to hit them like that and not pot one.
There was just thinking about some of the matches between Liam and Sheppy in the shootouts, and I remember one where I think Liam was in front and the crowd were chanting for him to tap break against Sheppy, and he delivered. It was absolutely fantastic drama.
Quite an unorthodox sort of stance, Jamie. He sort of seems to apply most of the sort of pressure on his back foot. If you watch his stance here, sort of seems to lean back on his back leg a little bit.
Many different ways, especially in the pool world, to make it work. What you want is consistency. I'm assuming the red in the middle of those yellows goes, which is why he's gone reds.
It looks like a big pocket from the overhead.
Yeah, just got to hit the window, but it's not necessarily the window to get on it, but it's also to get out off it. He's played across for it there, and that's not great.
No.
For the reasons I was saying, you can pot the red from there, but can you get out? I suppose you flick off the yellow, but you're taking a bit of a gamble. Coming down the left-hand side of the table is not going to work. I could have made the case for it being last ball, actually. One into the right centre, connects up to one at the top, and easy to get on the 8 ball.
Flirting with the middle pocket here as well, within off. Oh,
oh, oh, wow. Wow. Not sure how that's happened, but he's got away with it in terms of he hasn't given the frame away at that second, but it should still cost him the frame. Yeah. He's a fairly routine for a player of Jordan's level.
I think he knows, doesn't he? I mean, he's a little sort of snigger from him there. He knows that he's made, you know, a few too many errors in this match. And these are just, you know, elementary. These are just dot to dot for someone of Jordan's level. Puts him on the hill. And I think he'll also be getting a little bit of confidence. The fact that he is cueing the ball well, but he also knows that his opponent's not really 100% at the races at the moment. A few errors, and that does give you confidence as well.
Well, 7-2 now for Jordan, one away.
Jamie did pull one back in the next frame, but it was too little too late as Jordan was able to wrap the match up 8 frames to 3. Time to find out who Jordan will play in the group final and the hotly anticipated debut of the 2-times world champion Liam Dunster. He's taking on another debutant in Luke Sanjis, and we're going to join the match at the very start.
Starts off with an excellent break, going with the cut break. And when you get a break as good as this, it doesn't matter what rule set you're playing at all. These are just wide open and begging to be cleared up.
Yeah, I don't think he'll be missing these.
The thing is, we talk about Liam and having to adjust to this rule set. He has had huge success in this rule set. You know, he won the grand finals of the Supreme Series. Huge payday there for him, and that was in this rule set. So he's done it in this rule set. He's done it on this cloth, and essentially in this arena as well. Not quite this arena, but pretty much. So we know he can do it. It's just the adjustment factor for him.
Yeah, absolutely. It won't take him too long, I wouldn't have thought. Like you say, with breaks like that, he's going to be okay.
He's going to be fine, yeah. I think the thing with Luke when it comes to the rule set is there's a comfort level with he is a phenomenal player. His ability to clear up is, you know, he can go, as I said at the start of the show, he can go toe-to-toe with anybody when it comes to opening the balls up and going for finishes. But where he separates himself from a lot of players is his tactical nous and his ability around the table to sort of turn a situation around from anywhere. And I think that's why he just doesn't, the confidence level with that side of it's not quite going to be there for him yet. The ability just to turn things around or to earn an advantage through tactical play is something he's going to get stronger and stronger and stronger at, because he is as good as it gets when it comes to that side of the game. It's just adapting it into this format.
And from way up in Scotland, Liam.
Yeah. Welcome to Ultimate Pool, Liam Dunster. Break clearance to start.
Luke got on the board in the next to make it 1-1 before Liam produced another couple of good clearances to make it 3 frames to 1, and he now has the break in frame 5.
Well, he said to me prior to the match, he said that it'd probably take him a good 12 months to settle how he wants to settle. So, you know, obviously he's set a standard, you know, over on the black ball side of things that he, of course, will want to replicate here, and that's going to be far, far tougher for him to do that here than you know, the black ball side of things, as we all know. So, you know, he's set his own bar, and it will be frustrating if he doesn't replicate what he's already done and what he's already achieved. So,
yeah.
And that's just natural as a top sportsman.
But there'll also be plenty of outside noise if he gets off to a slow start. There'll be loads of outside noise, which is probably unjust, but you know what it's like in the sports world. That could happen, and I mean, we've seen it with, you know, it's a completely different scenario because Gareth Potts walked away from the game for the better part of a decade, but it wasn't, you know, it took him, what, 5-6 tournaments to really find his feet.
Yeah, it's, I mean, and Liam actually even said that himself when I was chatting to him. He said, you know, people will sort of start to say, what's going on kind of thing if he doesn't sort of hit the ground running. And he's got to try and put that out of his mind, because we all know the class act that Liam is. We all know what he's achieved and what he's capable of doing. So, you know, but he said to me, he said, I just hope I don't get relegated to the Challenger. And I said, well, if you do, I said, I'll back you for next season.
Beautiful shot.
So, you know, there's a sponsorship opportunity on the table for me. If Liam Dunster gets relegated to the Challenger, I'm backing him. I'm first in line. So sponsors beware. I am the first person to be written on his T-shirt next year. There'll be 2 Joker T-shirts running around the arenas.
Don't worry, Jimmy. I don't think Liam's struggling on that front. I think you're okay, mate.
I'm just thinking about the money. I'm just thinking about earning some money out of him, you know. But yeah, it's. I don't think that will be happening, to be honest. Although the standard is very, very good, and you just never know.
No, but for all we've been saying, I think you got to give the guy time to adjust and come over. And some players, Liam's not the only one making the jump. Luke Sanji's in a very similar position. All these guys, you got to give them time to feel it out there and get the comfortable. It's a completely different thing. We've seen, you guys are now 2 years in. And let's not. We talk about the rules, we talk about the cloth, we talk about the table. You've got the environment of the short shot clock, but also the match clock situation, which is another deal to get used to as well. And we've seen you guys 2 years in. You're now all a lot more experienced and you understand it a lot more. Other players coming in like Luke, like Liam, it's a new thing they have to learn.
Yeah.
And what I'm sort of getting at is that Liam needs to give himself that little bit of space to do that as well, because he really does think about things to such a level that you give him that time and he will figure it out.
Yeah, of course.
He is too good not to.
Yeah, it's a great addition to our ranks, that's for sure, and it puts pressure on us existing pros, because the standard is just getting higher and higher and higher, and of course we all want to maintain that level and stay within that let's say the top 28 as it is at the moment, or the top 32. That's really the where you want to be. You want to be in that bracket, that top 32 for sure, at the end of next season, and the standard just keeps getting better, so it puts us all under a different kind of pressure now.
Yeah, and from my perspective, we'll come back to this actually, because this is a huge shot in the context of the match right now. This is a thin clip, but also watch the cue ball. There's plenty of traffic, and he's got to hold this cue ball up. It's gone too far.
Look how fast the table is.
Yeah.
It is like playing on glass. I think he can chop this back, If you can see it, I mean, as mad as this sounds, if you can see that, you can only see the potting angle.
Yeah.
So...
because it's as thin as you can possibly hit it.
Yeah, so just hit it as hard as you can.
Yeah.
I think there's too much traffic down this bottom left-hand side of the table for the cue ball to maybe... He's going to have to be really unlucky. He's going to have to kiss off something to going off. That's for sure.
Oh, he's got the line, just not got the pace. Chance goes. First time in the match that Liam Dunster is not going to break clear off his break. And for me, this counter clearance is all about the yellow by the 8 ball. If it squeezes top left, it's not even a problem. If it doesn't, then he has to play short position on it, which he's good enough to do. But he's come round to have a look. It is tight to the top left. And I think the fact that he could have played on it straight away, because he's straight top right to get onto it. So I think he is thinking about short position later on in the visit.
Yeah, there's enough space between sort of to get round that yellow closest to the 8 ball for sure, to play it in a different pocket.
This looks quite nice. Just get middle of the table's perfect, yeah. Just where he's put his hand, and he's got the perfect angle to get there.
Yeah, anywhere sort of near where the blue spot is, around that area, you'd be fine. And for those of you who don't really understand that reference, the blue spot, obviously think of a snooker table right in the middle of the table, really, is what I'm referring to. Yeah, it's perfect. Just a soft little stun over now.
He doesn't want to be short on the next one. Wants to be close to straight. If he is short, then he has to play around with that left-hand side. And that is a little bit awkward. I think he's just about straight enough to nip this one on and off.
Yeah, I think you can pinch it a little bit on these tables, because they play so slidey, but he'd be fine here, I think.
Yeah, look at that. That grip's so quick. Oh, a fascinating opening 5 frames to this match. Liam Dunster has had first chance 5 times. He's taken 3 of them. That's better. Much better. Yeah, deserved to break a ball that time. Best break he's hit by a substantial margin.
Yeah.
Look at the difference in explosion here. Drives the power through the pack. And he gets first poke. First glance, you look at this and you think reds, but it's not an easy layout on reds. It's the 2 in the middle of the table, nearest the centre pocket, that is giving him a little bit of thought right now. Didn't want to cannon that one. He thought he was coming across without the cannon, so he's a lot lower than he was expecting.
I was going to say the one in the middle doesn't go. Well, you know, it's an opportunity missed.
Yeah, it's the first time in the match he's had first chance, and it's gone from him quickly. And reds were the colour set until he played his first shot. And after he played his first shot, yellows became a lot stronger.
Liam would be delighted to be back at the table here. Keep that 2-frame gap, keep that cushion.
Just in perfect shape here, really. So almost a training layout. Everything kind of in good position. Everything connects. Liam's in perfect position here, but you see him sort of analysing all options and ways of going from this position. But this is pretty much ball in hand perfect. And the reason I mention that is that it's what Liam likes to do, is to sort of go around and study things from multiple angles and sort of reaffirm in his own mind what he's doing. And that's where we have talked about the shot clock. He has won at 30 seconds a shot. He's won tournaments doing that, but he's going to have to probably almost find a new rhythm for it when we get to 15 seconds, because a huge amount of what you do with ultimate pool in quite a number of the tournaments happens at 15 seconds a shot.
It does, yeah. And that is a whole new ball game.
Yeah. And his natural instincts are phenomenal. It's just you don't get to see it because this is his rhythm.
I quite like the 15 seconds, to be honest. I've had some good success under the 15 seconds, so I can't really fault it, but it's tough. It's tough. I think sometimes it's that you haven't got time to overthink, so you can't think of the negatives, and that can help you sometimes, depending on the sort of character you are.
Oh,
you can't think what if, because you haven't got the time to think what if.
We've seen it with so many players when they're struggling in a match. All of a sudden 15 seconds comes along and it almost looks like their arm frees up because there's nothing negative going through their mind. So this 8 ball to get 2 in front once again. And in it goes. Counter clearance from Liam Dunster.
Getting away with the family for a couple of days during that tournament, but I should be here maybe for the 27th and possibly the 30th. So I might be around if I'm called upon.
So a dry break for Liam for the first time. So second time in the match, Luke Sanjis gets first chance. Needs to do more with it than he did first time round. It's a good opportunity. You could even argue, well, no, you can't really. I was going to say you could argue it's better than this previous one, but I don't think it is. 2 yellows at the top of the table. It's just awkward. 1 awkward in the middle, but not too bad. These are the sorts of finishes you expect a professional pool player to make, but also the sorts of finishes that you don't have to do a lot wrong for it to get away from you.
Yeah, these can go drastically wrong. You know, it's the pace of the table. You know, you land slightly out of position. You know, especially when there's just little intricate sort of drops and little cannons into balls and stuff that, you know, which is what these balls are here. Things can get away from you, like you say. You're quite right. When this buzzer starts in a second, it starts to rush your mind. He's called the extension now rather than hearing them.
Yeah, now that he's opened up that yellow at the bottom, now this is the time where he has to get that route set in his head.
But watch this now. He's going to dash round. Watch this. See now, he's not ideal. It's not what he wanted to be. But I think he's actually okay because he can soft screw this yellow here that he's closest to, put the cue ball on the left-hand rail, and he's got then a natural angle to go up the table on that side and land on his yellow. So I think it's not too bad, but these aren't straightforward.
No, you have to be almost perfect on the first yellow in the top of the table, because all the yellow, both yellows and the 8-ball, nothing goes to the top pockets. They all have to go middle, and they don't connect well to the middle. And he can't get above them from that ball, certainly not easily. He has to do a lot of mileage with the cue ball now to get it round.
Well, he actually had a little bit of a result cannoning off the red ball there because it's giving him more angle than what he would have had. If he didn't glance that red there, he was almost straight.
Straights, you're dead straight, aren't you?
Yeah. Whereas now he's got half a chance to get round because he cannoned that red. So, but watch where the cue ball goes here. Watch how wide it goes. Look at this. Ooh, do you know what? I think he's all right.
If he's knocked it on,
pushing off the red.
Yeah.
I think he's okay, and he's got a little angle just to knock the 8-ball out the way. I think he's landed about as good as he could have landed there, you know.
Yeah. Absolutely incredible. What amazes me, if that shot's on, then play for it.
Yeah.
He could have. He didn't. He tried to play behind it.
Yeah.
Because if he gets any sort of, if he doesn't get the full ball nudge on it, he's not on anything.
Ooh. Well, this isn't an easy pot. Just concentrate on the pot, Luke. That's all you've got to do. Don't worry about the cue ball. No.
Near jaw.
No.
Frustration for Luke Sanjis. Got the good nudge to be on that ball to the top, and then a loose positional shot not to be nicely on that 8-ball. How aggressive does Liam want to be? Delicate snooker, or he can take the pot on, but I'd be shocked if he does.
I think the only thing about taking the pot on is he's got a little bit of a shot to nothing because he's coming down below these two reds, and he's again leaving no shot. But the percentage shot is definitely to play the snooker for me here. Leave the cue ball at that side of the table. Yeah, and this is like as difficult.
Come on then, Jimmy. Let's get the telestrator out. Let's get you working in the commentary box here and try and draw a line for this one. Don't worry, we haven't got one, so don't you worry. But this will take some getting out of.
Top rail, side rail. Just catch the bottom end of the middle pocket, the right middle pocket as we look.
It's too cushion.
Chop the 8-ball into the left-hand middle. He's going to have to hit this at 347 miles an hour and not jump the cue ball off the table. I think he's going to hit the reds here. Yeah, there we go. See, he tried my path. My path was right.
He wasn't far away, was he?
See, I'd have personally played off just a bit lower off the jaw there and chopped that black into the opposite middle, but you know, obviously he didn't see it.
He'll have to work on that one, but he could have been there for a month and not got out of that one.
Yeah, that was tough. That was very tough. It would have been one for the highlight reel if he'd have got that. Even if he got out of it, would have been for the highlight reel.
And that's why Liam played the snooker, and he made sure of it being a very good one, so that next time he comes to the table, he can then mop them up. That's the plan. Pretty hard to see how Liam can go wrong here. I guess the only thing, not landing nicely when he travels from the top end of the table to the bottom, but I'm assuming he'll leave the red to the top left so that he tracks down the line towards the one by the 8-ball. And he'll be straight on it for a long time, and that's where he wants to finish on it. purposely gets high on it so he can use the one cushion and then pretty much pick the line he wants down towards that red.
Kick the corner of the table. How many players do we see to do that because of the different shape of this table? Bang the cue or kick the corner of the table.
Get your knee or get your cue.
I'm yet to see anyone fall over yet, but I think that day will come. That day will come.
Well, flawless from Liam as expected.
That seemed to break the back of the match as Liam was able to pull away and win the next 3 frames to win the match 8 frames to 2. Let's get straight into our group final then. Jordan Shepherd taking on Liam Dunster in a mouth-watering matchup. So let's join it right at the start of the match.
Both players cruised through. Jordan over Jamie Moray. Liam over fellow pro and new wild card Luke Sanjis. Both players playing a very good level of pool so far. Something has to give here. Race to 8 frames, 50 minutes on the match clock. Jordan Shepherd with the first opportunity following that excellent break to start the match. And these two guys have had plenty of previous before, plenty of great matches. What do you think we're going to see here, Jimmy? What's going to happen?
Well, it could be fireworks, couldn't it? I mean, I suppose it all depends on the break, and they both broke really, really well tonight. You know, if you're over-analysing it, you'd say Jordan is more suited to the quicker pace. But at this level, that it doesn't really make a difference. Like I say, these two are both world class, and this could be, the making of one of the best matches we've ever seen on this arena table. So let's hope it is.
Has all the ingredients, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's the clash of styles that I've always enjoyed whenever we've seen Jordan take on Liam. 2 different ways to do it.
Get that for a first shot.
Yeah. You've got the flamboyance and the flair of Jordan Shepherd and the machine-like clinical nature of Liam Dunster. When you see matchups like this, when you're as a player, do you ever change your game for different players? Would you change your approach? If you're Liam here, do you try and play more tactical to make Jordan chase more finishes, or do you just play the balls?
I think in the old world rules, I think you definitely play the player 100% because you can manipulate the rules but in these rules you play the table and the balls more. I think, yeah, definitely. The rule set just lends itself to just getting on with your own job. Basically, it doesn't really matter what your opponent's doing. Whereas in world rules, because of he's not playing.
He's a long way short here. Oh, that's a poor one from Jordan. He had margin as well to go long.
Yeah, he had a big space to land in there. That's an awful shot, really.
Huge frustration early in this match for Jordan Shepherd. What can he come up with? So trying to play safe, trying to put that cue ball right behind the red at the bottom of the table, and also getting his yellow near the right corner pocket so that he'd have a shot on, but doesn't get the cue ball right. So Liam Dunster does have attacking options here, and he probably has a free attacking option as well, as in he can take a pot on here knowing he's not leaving a yellow on in return, because it's not an easy pot. Well, and it hasn't gone in. And because he missed it on the straight side, I think he's left this yellow. Second chance coming here for Jordan Shepherd. And that's a mistake from Liam as well, because if you're going to miss on that one, he wants to miss on the other side. First frame to the Welshman. So perfect playing conditions. Supreme have been in, worked their, putting their stuff out there and got things sorted.
Last ball to drop. Didn't hit them the best though, didn't catch them great.
Yeah, almost looked like he maybe clipped that front ball just a shade on the... It's come out congested because of it. I think these could open up quite quickly though. Couple of ways here. You could go reds and then you've got a plant on the 2 reds in the triangle area, or if you go yellows, it's one controlled cannon. Could open them up and you've got the perfect ball to do it with, and you can get to it straight away. There you go. Now it's just a natural cannon. In the end, decides not to try and dislodge things too much, just bumping the red out the way. Knows both these yellows go. When the left-hand one, as we look, goes, the other one goes bottom right. Is a little bit awkward on it now, though. He was hoping to be a touch straighter on it and deal with those two back to back. So a sort of slight readjustment here. Oh, gets away with it. Does get away with it. And he's gets away with it and couldn't have landed too much better.
Landed perfect, yeah.
He's landed high on the left-hand one of the yellows, which means he can then screw into the red and take the yellow into the same pocket.
I think I'll be going the other way here. Taking the bottom ones first, but each to their own. Because this can go wrong if he just screws it a little bit too much and doesn't hit the red thick enough. It's going to take some doing to do that, but at least he'd have been left another ball, whereas now... Oh, wow.
Didn't see that coming. I'm like you, I was surprised he didn't take it previously. So a couple of mistakes early in this match that we didn't really see from Liam Dunster in the first match against Luke Sanjis. Yes, he made a couple of errors and missed one pot late on, but the errors were in trying to work out finishes rather than glaring missed pots, like we've seen in the first 2 frames here from Liam. So an opportunity for Jordan Shepherd to get off to that quick start, and 2-0.
Well, Jordan will be delighted.
makes a difference, doesn't it? If you see often you get off to a good start, win 2 frames, maybe break clearance, reverse clearance. But to have 2 frames where your opponent's made big errors in both of them, that does make a difference. The way you feel out there, and the way you feel your opponent probably feels out there.
Liam won the next frame to get on the board, but Jordan responded to open up a 2-frame gap once again, and he has the break in frame 4.
Oh, much better break from Jordan this time. Absolutely crunched them. And look at this leave. These yellows are wide open. Might even be able to go reds if the red on the break line goes to the top right, past the yellow. That's what he's looking at now. He wants reds, not yellows. Yellows aren't bad. I mean, all yellows have a pocket. Fairly open connections to them as well.
Yeah, you'd certainly fancy him for these.
So one good positional shot. Get on the one nearest the reds on the left-hand side. Once he's on that one, he's pretty much clear.
Landed exactly where he didn't want to land there. He's landed right in between the two and left himself a little bit awkward now. I think he's going to have to play the right-hand yellow and maybe screw over and hit the red. So the red sort of closest to the middle of the table. He's going to have to play that shot now. Just like that.
Yeah, played it well.
It's not perfect, but he's okay.
Cue ball's the tricky part of this one, but looks like a cue ball. He's got an angle where he can do a few different things with it. 8 ball does go into the left centre, which looks like a natural angle to play for. Oh, not the cannon he needed on the 8 ball. He wanted to slide by it, but he can still pot this one from where he is. It's just trickier than he wanted. And in it goes. A break clearance on the back of that piece of poor fortune for Liam Dunster, and all of a sudden it's 4-1. I think no friends.
Didn't hit them as hard, but I mean, again, it was a decent enough contact. You know, they opened up. I mean, look where they've landed.
I mean, it's a perfect split for a cut break, isn't it? It really is. That's the problem when you don't hit it with as much power. If they don't go in immediately, you're not going to get any rogue balls flying in.
And look at these. I mean, these are exactly where you'd want them.
You go up for the plant early at the top, or would you back yourself to get straight behind it at the end?
Yeah, I mean, there's an argument either way. I mean, I think you could go up for the plant now, which is exactly what he has done. Left himself an angle as well, just to drop back out. So a little bit of right-hand side on this. Bottom right, middle, top right. That's the path I would take, but...
Looks like Jordan agrees with you.
He's chasing the town chalk around the arena. It is by far I think, in my opinion, the best product. But when you drop it,
it rolls.
It can travel. It can travel.
He wanted just to pinch the pocket a fraction there. The straighter he potted that, the better for cue ball control. If he pots it in the other side of the pocket, all of a sudden it's amazing how much that cue ball could have got away from him. He controlled it well. And in perfect position here.
Well, the ideal start for Jordan.
It really is.
when you're amongst that elite, you know, it's very, very tough to remain consistent, you know. And obviously he's right up there where you'd expect him to be. Look at this for a break again. And he's always been a formidable opponent. He's always been tough to beat. Nothing really shocks me now with how good the standard is. Nothing surprises me. I mean, if we look at the Pro Cup over the weekend, I think it was Luke Gilbert that put a post on saying, you know, a bit unfortunate to draw Liam Dunster, you know, being a pro, blah 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 blah, and he's a wild card, and he went and beat him.
Yeah.
You know, and the standard is so good. I think Luke was sort of almost maybe looking for a bit of sympathy.
But he's not going to get any.
He's not going to get any,
Yeah.
and not only that, but Luke is more than capable of beating absolutely anyone on the planet. So, you know, and quite a few people commented, you know, to that vein. So, it's a tough school out there. You know, at the end of the day, you've got to beat them all eventually if you're going to win events. So.
Potted that in the side of the pocket. Don't think intentionally. He did want to leave plenty of angle here, but
A little bit of check side on this. Perfect. He's a little bit straighter than he wanted to be, but I think he's okay. He can just punch it across. Well, some display this is.
yeah, that's how you punish. I was going to say punish a mistake. It wasn't really a mistake from Liam Dunster, but it was something that Jordan has stepped in and done 3 on the bounce. 3 straight clearances off the break, 2 off his own, 1 off Liam Dunster's.
Liam started to mount a comeback by winning the next 2 frames to make it 6-3, but Jordan Shepherd won the next to go 7-3 in front and on the brink of victory.
Like I say, the evening started to me that that's what he's going to struggle with for a while.
I'm actually excited though to see him put that time in and start to learn it, because I actually think he's so clever tactically. I think we might see him come up with some shots that other players haven't yet seen, and we might see some pretty clever stuff from him. But you've got to give him time to sort of find his way with that.
Of course.
Sort of feel like I watched his evolution of that in Blackball, and I've been playing against him and watching and commentating on him ever since his sort of junior days in the Blackball world, and yeah, I'm excited to see it. This is tough. 7-3 down, 10 minutes 46 on the clock, and a layout like this.
Yeah, this is very tough.
He's got one to bottom left. I don't know if he's got quite the angle to get into the sort of yellow and 8-ball area. Might be a little bit wide for that.
I think I'd maybe be tempted to go the other way. Take the 2 at the top, leave an angle and come sort of careering into him a little bit. But the only risk with that, of course, is you might knock the 8-ball towards the pocket. So yeah, he's left the angle now. He's just going to screw into the face of that red. A little bit of luck needed, a little bit of good fortune, but as long as he gets the red full in the face, he's going to leave himself a chance. Do you play this calculated, or do you go with a bit more pace and just hope for the best a little bit? So he's not played a great shot there, but he's okay. He's actually landed okay.
He's had a look to see if there's a gap through to the yellow. Doesn't look like there is.
I don't think there is, but
No, not landed on anything this time. Well, tries to make the yellow off the red. That was long odds. Well, the red's gone awkward, so I was going to say that could be his last shot in the Masters, but it might not be. Well, it's taken his time before he plays the cannon. It's going to have to come at some point. Might as well be now. Oh, catch the cannon really nicely. Didn't overhit that one. Just wanted to get the yellow out the way. Does mean he has to pick a gap here a couple of times. Might leave it last, actually, and play for the 8-ball the other way, potentially. Could have done with being the other side of this red. Oh, it'll be a double then.
Yeah, it's a big pocket as well.
Yeah, but this is for the match. And Jordan Shepherd books his place in the second stage of Ultimate Pool, the Masters.
Well, a very solid performance there from Jordan Shepherd, and he moves on to the second stage of the competition. Great to see Liam Dunster make his debut. We will see plenty more of him in the future, that is for sure. And if you'd like to watch this whole night back, you can. It is on Ultimate Pool TV. Or if you are looking forward to next week, this is what we have for you. Chris Melling is the headline act. He's joined by Jez Graham, John Dunn and Ross Smith for week 24 of Ultimate Pool, the Masters.